So I'd always recommend doing a stock valuation every month. Quite a lot of people only do their stock counts every year, so they run a stock valuation every year. I think you need to do it every month to get accurate P&Ls. So this is how you classify your stock for the month end. So first you have your local stock. So what's your local stock? It's stuff at your home. It's something that you've paid for that is just sitting at home, which is maybe sellable. It's at the office, it's at the warehouse, it's at the prep center. It's stuff that is basically in your inventory records as available to sell or on order, but it's local and it's not at some sort of Amazon FBA or 3PL. So it's like your local stock. It's not a third party. To get this sort of local stock, you need to run, if you have a WMS, you should run a report, or if you have some sort of prep center Google sheet, you need to do some sort of valuation count of the stock currently at and available at your prep center as well. With this, you'll need to do a balance sheet adjustment. So post stock adjustment journal to move COGS to inventory. I'll explain that in a little bit as well. But figure out a way to get your local stock value. Make sure it's repeatable and consistent, right? So at least if it might be a little bit off the calculations, there is at least a trend there. So the main thing is keeping it consistent. The second one that people don't talk too much about, but this is basically inbound, sometimes work in progress. I don't know if you call it that, but I sometimes call it work in progress. This is inbound stock. So it's been paid for, but hasn't actually been received at your warehouse or your prep center. Right, I'll go into this in more detail in a little bit, but this is also something that really does have a big impact on your stock valuation and can really change your monthly P&L, right? So for instance, you had a purchase order of £5,000 on the 31st of May, and that was paid for on the 31st of May, but it was only received at the warehouse on the 1st of June. That means that there would be no account for that in your inventory value. So you would need to do some sort of manual value to change it as sort of inventory in transit. We'll go into a bit more detail on that because it's also really important to do a inbound work in progress, inventory in transit sort of valuation. And then the third one is Amazon FBA. I think this is the most easy one because usually Amazon FBA have the reports. So Unix physically or inbound or stranded or whatever, Amazon FCs at the month end. You can use FBA inventory reports, so to get the inbound, the working quantity, available quantity, reserved, and all that. You need to make sure you add all that, and that's also part of your stock valuation for the end of the month. This is when I started to realize that this session could have gone on for, I could get really deep into the session because obviously there's processes to actually work all these out as well. And again, we can potentially go back into them at some point, but I realize every sort of process here needs its own sort of system and process to actually figure it out. And it's really important. And I think quite a lot of people don't do it because it can be a little bit difficult. So yeah, these are the three ones. If I've missed anything, let me know. Important notes: treat prep center stock as local. That's, in my opinion, I always treat prep center I don't combine that with our FBA stock. FBA controlled and does their own thing. Watch no man lands items. So I like to call inbound whip no man land items, paid for but not in any stock bucket. So they're paid for, but they're not an Amazon FBA and they're not in local, so they're not on order as well. Journalman to in transit, so COGS reflect reality, and then also don't double count as well. They should all tie back to your inventory control account.